This is Eddie Serralles. We're having a podcast. I'm here with Ed Felder, and Ed Felder is an old client, old friend of mine for a long time. Basically, when I first came to Tampa Heights, he basically came right to Tampa Heights right after me and sought out the area, and we got to meet each other and became good friends and kind of showed him some of my strategies and tricks of the area at the time. And he executed them and bought some properties and did pretty well. I had one of the biggest houses in Tampa Heights at one time. And I'm here today with Ed Felder.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. Listen, I'm with the Godfather. Yeah, the Godfather of Tampa Heights, man. Listen, I was a little nobody. I was doing lending. I was the lender, and I ran up on Eddie Serralles, and he talked about opportunity. He talked about going from lending to being an investor to becoming a broker. Like my career, I was taking minor steps. I take a major leap, right? I would say leap of faith. And with Eddie Serralles, and my life has never been the same since. So I'm excited just to spend a few minutes to inspire your audience, man. You could be on the sideline, right? Just watching things go by. Or you could capitalize on these amazing opportunities in real estate. Man, you know what they say, 90% of millionaires are what? They're in real estate.
Oh, yeah.
So let's get it. Let's make this episode epic, baby.
All right, thank you. Let's talk about Tampa Heights. When you first came to Tampa Heights, what did you think about Tampa Heights?
Crack haven. Everything about Tampa Heights was miserable and worse. Miserable was at the height of it.
Why were you looking at it then at the time?
Listen, crazy thing about it, my neighbor in New Tampa said he was leaving the confounds of our gated community in New Tampa and coming down and living in Tampa Heights.
That reminds me, I remember I went to your house in Tampa Palms.
Yeah, it was
I went there. Yeah, of course.
Gated, the pool.
I remember that now.
So my neighbor left to come downtown. I thought it was the craziest thing ever. The only reason you came downtown in those days, you had your cars locked and you was on speed, and yet you were on speed dial with the police, right? Mm-hmm. And that was the best part of downtown. Getting to work at the bike where I was, and the zooming past all of this just crime, grit and grime and mayhem. That's what it was known for until I met you.
Brief my memory. When did we meet or where we meet? If you remember. I don't remember.
Man, it was
probably so long.
Yeah, I don't know about long, but so many deals ago, man. So many deals you've been doing. So I think I just came in. You probably have been marketing for students and people who were inspired about real estate. Mm-hmm. I've been inspired about real estate for a while. Mm-hmm. The great thing about it, I was formerly trained as a commercial lender, right? So I was one of these girls, right, who was able to tell you a hotel was a great deal, an apartment complex was a great deal, a gas station was a great deal. I was financing all type of restaurants and franchises. I was a guru at financing. But what I wasn't great at was actually closing my own deals. Man, can you imagine I'm doing $10, $20 million deals for everybody else until you took me by the hand and said, hey, buddy, Mr. Smart Guy, let me take you to St. Pete. Let me take you to this area. Let me take you to Ipo. Let me show you what Tampa Heights is about. And I became a guru to a duro, someone actually doing deals. And my career has skyrocketed ever since. Mm-hmm. So listen, I'm your number one testimonial, right? Besides some of these other people that were here, because you could talk about it, or in real life, you could be about it. And that's what I'm grateful for you about, helping me be about it.
You know, I know you've written a bunch of books.
Yes, sir.
You know, tell me about that.
Man, it's a great thing. So as I started out as a commercial lender, and the crazy thing was I would get like the most amazing clients, right? But their numbers didn't match up to how phenomenal their business really was. Some of my clients were making money hand over finger. I remember I was funding a certain nightclub in town. Literally, it took 2 hours to get to this club. But their numbers only showed $700,000 in revenue, and it showed maybe $50,000 in profit. Like literally, they were making $50,000 per night. So when it came time to sell the business for $5 million, he only got $500,000. And the guy defaulted on that because he didn't look as phenomenal on paper as he actually was, right? Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite movies, what's the guy's name? Gerard Butler. Remember with Jamie Foxx, and he was killing all the people, and he's like, how is he killing everybody? He was in jail. And his thing was, is not what you know, is what you can prove. He was breaking out of jail. Like, he's in jail, and how is he getting out, blowing up everything in the city of Philadelphia, right?
Oh, wow.
So it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. Similarly, I tell my clients all the time, listen, it's not what you know, but what can you prove on paper to really blow away these bankers and these lenders? And I started taking that concept and teaching my clients, right, how to be as wonderful on paper as they are in true life. So that's kind of what my story was.
So Ed, what kind of challenges that you see in the next couple of years with the real estate business?
Yo, a gazillion challenges in real estate. Are you kidding me? Yo, real estate is never for the faint of heart, right? So you gotta have some chutzpahs. Can I say that online? Can we say that? You gotta have some chutzpahs, right? Like, if you think real estate is not for perfect people with perfect numbers, and nothing ever goes as planned, right?
Right.
Initially when you get started. And then when you get experience, it still doesn't go as started, right?
Right.
So you got to stay consistent. You got to stay consistent in doing deals, being able to analyze deals, and what I call finding value-added opportunity. Everything is not a great deal, right?
Right.
Everything is not a great deal. So you got to find an amazing mentor to say, hey, man, this is how you crunch numbers. This is how you find great deals. And this is how you fund deals. And then how do you get in the deal? People always want to talk about, how do you get in the deal? But more importantly, how do you get out the deal? And when you make money when you get in the deal. You materialize it when you get out of the deal.
Right.
So many of those things, man, and tip my Bucks hat to you, man. I learned from you, right? I learned from you. Quiet as kept, man. Although I was an expert, I came to your classes, man. I sat in the back and just watched you. Like, I want to be like this guy, right? I want to learn from the best.
Yeah, I think we both have things in common. We got in the business, and we were in the business, but as a loan officer and as a real estate agent. You know what I mean? And we decided, we're making good money, we're doing well, but we really wanted to go to the next level and be an owner, own properties and be a landlord and do that. And I think that Tampa Heights was an area that would allow us to do that because properties were cheap. They needed some rehabbing. We could force the equity up. It was close to downtown, so there'd be tenants, that would want to live closer in. It was a movement that was started happening. And so we were able to buy properties, renovate them, and be able to cash flow them. And there was some good strategies that we kind of used,
Man, I think you're too modest, man. You guys modest. So here's the thing. Here's my key takeaway from you, right? There was opportunity, right? But you had the bullhorn. You were like the main cheerleader for Tampa Heights. What was your company called? Tampa Heights what?
Tampa Heights Mortgage.
Tampa Heights Mortgage, right? Like that's what most people forget. They want to be a deal doer instead of a brand. Write that down. Anybody's interested in doing deals, right? Be a brand, right? So when I hear the word Tampa Heights Mortgage, I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what we're doing, right? So what is your brand? Are you chasing deals all over? Or are you strategically focused? Like, I'm doing nothing except new construction in downtown. I'm not doing anything except for 4 units. I'm not doing anything except for wholesaling. I'm not doing, what is your brand and what do you want to be known for? And grabbing Eddie Serralles, he had a certain areas that he absolutely mastered. When I worked downtown, Eddie, in the big tower, I would just look out here with some of the top bankers like, we strategized. How do we get down here? How do we get in Tampa Heights? And I met you, right?
Yeah. And back then, it wasn't just like there was one property or 2 properties that were good deals. It was every house, every property, and everything was for sale. And it was fun. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, I enjoyed it. And I didn't have to go to hours away to go buy properties or look at properties or do things. I mean, there was plenty to work on here. So I just focused on Tampa Heights and Ybor City for almost 30 years. And there was plenty to do. And I knew it. Sometimes I sold the same house 7 times. It was easy for me, and it made sense to me. And I was a numbers guy.
Takeaway, power of relationship. If you're getting into this business, deals are great, but relationships are more amazing than ever. Find great people, right? And connect with them. And just don't chase, bring value to them. If you're bringing value to people, in terms of deals in terms of relationship. You'll never be short on cash.
Yeah.
Never be short on opportunity. And the great thing about it, your competitors will refer you things that they can't handle or have no idea and understanding.
Yeah. Well, the thing, I think what happened is I think I saw things differently than everybody else. Everybody looked at Tampa Heights as like half empty. I looked at it as like half full, you know, and I believed in it. And I just knew that it was so close to downtown that it would have to pop. It would just have to, people have to come back in.
So is that part of what you're saying? Finding great locations that I call it hiding in plain sight. That's where I look for deals now, right? So the crazy thing is, I bought the 5 unit you sold me back umpteen years ago, right? Man, it was a crack haven. I was chasing those drug dealers and ladies of the night, and then those were the good tenants, right? Those were the good tenants, right?
Yeah.
But all I had to do was just hold on when you pointed to the location. That property today is probably worth upward of almost close to $2 million, right?
For sure.
5 units, almost $2 million. But I just held on, but didn't decide to sell. So sometimes you're smart and book smart, but you got to be reality smart. Get that down, people. It's okay to be book smart, but deal smart, activity, that's what you got to be. That's what you got to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was different types of deals in Tampa Heights. So basically, I call it layers, you know, like or rounds, round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. And round 1 was basically, it was a person who lived there forever and forever and ever and just never could keep it up. And it was selling for a very good price, 10, 20 grand. And so a person like me would go in there and buy it for that cheap price. And that was a chance. That was a gamble. And I would fix it up real nice. And I'd make it almost mint. I'd make it almost look like a brand new house. And then hopefully find a very good tenant to pay decent rent. And then I would sell it a turnkey package. So basically all you had to do is just basically get the loan and cash flow, you know. And that was some of the things, you know, and I would basically bribe people to come into this area because it's like, why am I buying properties in Tampa Heights? You know, you nuts? You know what I mean? I'm going to South Tampa. I'm going to Carrollwood. I'm going somewhere else. I'm not coming to Tampa Heights. You know what I mean? It's like,
so fast forward.
That'd be crazy.
Fast forward. The visionary known as my guy, Eddie Serralles, right? You had a vision, and so that's part of it as well. Crazy thing. Just, I know it's your interview, but tell me the one person that you was closest to who doubted you and then who doubted Tampa Heights.
There's a client of mine. She's my client right now, actually selling her condo or a townhouse. And I remember first meeting her years ago. She was at my window in my office looking at the sheets of the properties that are for sale. And I happened to just see her outside, and I opened the door and I talked to her and say, hey, are you looking for a property to buy? She goes, yeah, I'm going to buy a property. And I said, oh, you looking around this neighborhood? She goes, hell no. Basically, I mean, not that way, but basically it was like, there's no way I'm buying in Tampa Heights. You know what I mean? And I said, oh, okay, no problem. You know, kind of offensive, you know, but I let it go. And I said, well, where do you want to go? She goes, I want to go south of Kennedy. I want to go, you know, South Tampa. I said, okay, really? I said, you know, for the amount of money you're going to spend over there, you know, you're only going to be able to, buying one house over there, you can buy 2 houses over here. And the rent is, you know, is not going to be up as much. You're going to get double the rent over here easily. You know what I mean? And she was like, no. I said, what are you looking to spend? She was like 60, 80,000. I said, okay. I said, let me just show you 2 properties. I showed her one for 30,000 and she liked it and she went and bought it. I saw another one for 30 and she liked it and she bought it. One was in Tampa Heights, one was in Ybor City. And basically she rented them out for like $1,000 plus a month on a $30,000 investment. The first one we sold was a couple years ago. We sold it for $150. So buying something for $30 and sold for $150 was pretty good. The last one we just sold, we sold for $430 and she bought it for $30, you know? And I don't know what you would have done in South Tampa or whatever else, but these are some very good numbers. I mean, to throw out 60 grand and make, you know, basically $1,000 in each house, $2,000 a month on a $60,000 investment, and then make over 200,000, 500,000 in both profits. She made over $500,000 easily. She made $600,000. She made a lot of money.
So how many success stories do you have like that?
Oh, tons.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
Tons. And most of them are very similar to that story.
Money's calling. Money's calling. Somebody from California looking to get in with Tampa Heights. You're late to the party, but actually you're not.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually having dinner tonight with a guy from North Carolina looking in the area. He's like, I think I came in too late. I'm like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? And plus the market might fall, and it's a good area to look at. I mean, Tampa's a strong market. You know, it's a strong market, but for me, it's too rich. It's gotten, I've already won the game. I'm not going to gamble that much. That's why I'm in different states right now. You know, I'm a low end guy. But if I'm paying more than 30 grand, I pay too much. But you know what I mean? And I'm one of those guys that just want to buy it as cheap as I can.
But listen, that's the beauty of this real estate thing. Yeah. You can master your niche, master your brand, right? Some people are like, let's do nothing but upskill, right? Some are like, let me get the moderate and then build up. There's so many different avenues. There's so many different ways to make money in real estate. You could be a lender. You could be an investor. You could be an equity partner. You could.
The way I look at it is I think that life's about choices. And the one thing about it is this is one choice that you can make. I mean, you can choose where you want to live, what you want to eat, what you want to drive. You can choose this. And some of my richest clients got more money than God. You would never know it because they drive the most shittiest, nastiest, ugly car you ever seen in your life. I mean, and they don't eat good foods or this, that, or whatever else. I do take good vacations though, you know. But they made a lot of money, and they just learned to just be a kind of a cheap person, and that's how I guess that's how they started. And they just kept that same habits and same mentality. And they just know how to make money. They just learned to turn that money. I'm not going to go buy new things or buy this or have a real expensive car or have all this great meal. I could put that money towards another house or another payment, or I could do something with it, you know? So everybody's made differently, but I think it's all about choices, and it's what you really want. And I think that with the power of this is you don't have to buy. You know what I mean? Real estate don't need you. You need it. And you don't have to buy. And you can choose. So you choose either base it, double, triple. I mean, and you're only as good as your knowledge, you know, and your market. And so if you don't have a great market, go find a good market. And if you don't find the right deal. And then I say you only gamble if you know you're going to win. You know what I mean? Other than that, you're gambling. You know what I mean? Everything's a risk, but I've always made very calculated risk. And I don't think I really lost, any real deal. The market shrank and I lost, solid. I didn't really lose $10 million, but my portfolio dropped over $10 million. And I did sell like 6, 7, 8 properties, and it was just a game. It's all a game, just like anything else. When you get successful, man, it's terrible sometimes, because, things that you never thought would happen are happening, and I don't know, there's nothing I could do or change it. It's just part of life. And everybody looks at all the positives, but there's negatives too. I mean, it's life, and I'm just glad that one thing I was really glad about is I don't have a job. I mean, what is it like to not be able to have a job? You work for yourself, you do what you want, even though we probably work a lot more hours and put more time in, and we do have a boss. We have our clients. Our clients are our bosses. But we get to pick and choose, and we get to just be creative. I mean, it's fun as heck putting deals together. It's nothing better than that, I think.
And also helping people create wealth. I can tell you about a few years back, I had clients that we do funding all the time. They call me the funding guy. You're Robin Hood of banking, right? That's kind of what our brand is, writing books and being on stages. We have one particular client, right? He had never done a multifamily. He's single family, and he always did with 4 or 5 people in the deal. He was ultra conservative. I met the guy. So listen, fly me in. Let me take a look at the property. I got you. He was on pins and needles. Like, the deal won't work. Oh, it'll never work. No one believes in me. I barely believe in me. I got the guy 100% funding on a 10-unit transaction. Like, literally, he put no money down on a 10-unit apartment complex. Mm-hmm. Within 6 months, he had tripled the value of the property. And not only did he triple the 10, I think he's getting $300 a month in rent, but we got it up to about $1,500 per unit times 10, right? And the place looked amazing. So here's the thing. Great Bones, right outside, 10, 15 minutes outside of Charlotte, right? Concrete block in a cul-de-sac. And he got another 2 acres of land where he can build 25 new condos, 25 new townhouses. So I took him from being mom and pop to a millionaire investor overnight by educating them on opportunity. How do you get in the deal? and showing them 3 or 4 ways to make repayment. How does this deal work? We go in there and show them how to save money on the 10 unit, how to enhance cash flow. And then sometimes, hey man, how do you liquidate that property? Nowadays, people are selling to hedge funds. I have clients right now in Brooklyn who are buying 2 families and convert them into 6 families. And before they're done, when they write the contract, their end client is a hedge fund, right? So it's all about structure. It's not so much the dollar amount, but what is your exit strategy and multiple sources of repayment. So I love educating clients and watching them win. Yeah, I like a win, Eddie, but to see my clients win, I had a 84-year-old lady call me last night at 9 o'clock and said, "Hey, Superman, I got my sister on the phone. Can you do a deal for her?" That's the gratification.
Oh, yeah. Referrals are great.
Business, man.
Yeah, referrals are great.
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman. So you're my Superman. So tell me about some of the, if someone's coming to you new today, what do you say to them about real estate? Is it okay to get in? You need a bunch of money? What do you do about people who always kicking the can?
No, I think that there's no time like the present to get in real estate. But I didn't say I have to go buy it right now or borrow money right now, but to learn it, get in, start learning research, start learning to find a deal. Wholesaling is one of the easiest ways to get started. Start, making yourself a little money. Try to make a job out of it. Find yourself. Become a real estate agent. Become a mortgage broker. Become a home inspector. Become an appraiser. Find yourself in the business. Get in the business some way, somehow, because to me, it's the only real business. You know what I mean? Like you said, 90% of most people who become wealthy are in real estate. What happened to the other? If they're not in real estate, where the hell are they at? I mean, where the hell are they at? And how they were going to feed themselves or get ahead. And most people, when they're at the time of 75, 85 years old, they're going to be having nothing.
Broke.
I mean, and the medical system's going to take your money anyway. I mean, it's like you get sick and one shot's $18,000. I mean, this is nuts.
Listen, man, we got to do deals, man. We got to get more people to do deals that be looking to change the entire trajectory of your life. But if you're looking to move to Florida, if you're looking to do deals in Virginia, listen, my friend right here, my guy, my mentor is breaking all type of records with people that not only is he inspiring, but given the game. Not to be the game, the blueprint, right? The blueprint, that's what I got. Not only me, you have so many people who left Tampa Heights, Domar Cross, Kenny Russian. The list goes on and on about people who started their national platform in real estate, following behind Eddie Serralles. Franklin Cruz, he's doing subdivisions now, right?
Joey Banks just came in today. He's buying, he just bought, this is his second laundromat. He's buying a business. He's doing businesses now, and he did the Fox. It was a jazz club. He's done a lot of things. Got an apartment complex by Busch Gardens. So he's done very well. There's a lot of guys, a lot of people. It's out there, and I'm glad to see them succeed. I want them to succeed, and it makes me look good too because I helped coach them. They're my tenants. They was my tenant, and he was like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Come on." There's another guy that was at Amscott, and I was there paying my bills with cash, and he's like, "Man, how the hell do you have all this cash? What do you do?" I'm like, "I do real estate. I collect rents." And he goes, "Well, I'm thinking about getting real estate." I'm like, "Come on to my office. I'll train you." Came to my class, became one of my tenants, and then he bought a quad, and then he bought some houses, and he bought some land, and got like 5 kids now, and he's doing really well. Young kid I met, and just taught him. And you don't have to teach much. It's just inspiring them, and showing them there's some strategies, because all you can do is show them a little bit, but they have to do all the exercise. They have to go want it. They have to go do it. I mean, we're not doing it for you, and we can't. You know what I mean? It's just you. It's on you. Yeah, we'll guide you. We'll help you. I have the toolbox. We'll help loan you money, or help fund it, or help teach you strategy, or help you with the contract, or teach you some tricks of the trade. But majority, it's your responsibility. It's your baby. You gotta know how to run with it and take care of it and do it.
Man, you're in my head, because that's one of the main things I teach my students. Birth your dreams, right? How are you going to live someone else's dream, right? Birth your dream. And you know what to do, Eddie? You know what I tell my students? Wake up and dream. What does that mean? Get up 15 minutes early every day. Like, I want to be in real estate. Well, research. How do I get in real estate? How to get in real estate in Tampa? How do we do it with no money? How do I find a mentor? Wake up and dream. Had a podcast back in the days. Yeah, podcast. It was called Cash Flow and Comedy. No more broke excuses. Like, people have more excuses than you can ever imagine why they can't be successful, why it won't work. You remember the with old
They call them like Roblox, you know?
Roblox, yes.
And man, I have so many students that have Roblox, and they just make up shit Roblox. And it's always like, what's raining or this and that. There's always some type of excuse that they give about something. And I'm like, stop with Roblox. I mean, how are you going to get somewhere if you keep creating roadblocks for yourself? I mean, like, they're their own worst enemy. And yeah, some things are real, but there's something that you can't jump over or go around or figure out. You know what I mean? And stop worrying about things. Just go.
Do it.
Just go and go do it and believe that what you're doing is right. I mean, make a calculated risk. I mean, do your homework, do your really, but once you decided you're going to go and move on it and believe. And if you did your calculations, you do your things, you believe in a certain, like I did with Tampa Heights, I believed in it. I didn't know it was going to get this damn good. This is ridiculous. I mean, you would tell me one day I'll sell my building for $10 million.
And you get I was offered now for that?
No, not yet, but
Okay.
I ain't taking no less. But I can tell you this, that, I mean, I just thought I'd be happy if we got to $1 million. You know what I mean? And it's way surpassed that. So it's who knew? I mean, it's just nuts, and man, I had so many properties. I wish I would have kept them all. But, life happens. You have to go and put the kids in school, and you have to buy cars and have a nice house and, all these things that you need, and pay taxes. Oh, the tax man.
Absolutely.
Can't tell you about him. So yeah, they don't, the system's kind of designed, they don't let you really grow or try not to let you grow. They want to keep you down.
You know what? One thing I learned about Donald Trump in one of his books is he says, if you're going to be thinking anyway, think big. Woo! If you're going to be thinking anyway, think big. Think radical. Think revolutionary, right? Think I can do this.
Yeah, but I also think, like, I don't like to lose. I don't even like to even gamble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to be a sure bet. If it's not a sure bet or a sure thing, I really don't want to play. I mean, I only play to win, and I don't want to, and the other thing too is you get to know your ability.
Right.
You get to know your ability, and as I get older, I've gotten smarter and stronger, I guess, in some ways. But in some ways, I've slowed down. And I can't do the things I used to be able to do. So, and then hopefully, and it's not just you now. We also have staff. So it's what my staff can do, what we're willing to, put up with or do, and it's work. Just at the end of the day, it's work, and we try to work for money, and we try to pay our bills, and we try to get ahead, and we try to, we're trying to, be somebody or get somewhere or do something. So it's just a game, and I'm glad I've done well, that I've considered winning it in my eyes. Yeah, I never thought I'd get here, and I do want to help other people. I mean, that's I think you gave the class of the day and talked about, what was that thing you were on the board? You said,
wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great?
Yeah.
You have so many people who block the blessing. Hey, can I tell you a crazy story?
Yeah.
Years ago, I was in college and I was in this production management class. So I had to create a product. And then I had to pitch it. So I spent my last $250, paid, this is in 1986, right? I paid a designer to create this idea I had. I called it the photo reader, right? Crazy idea, right? Photo reader. It was the size of a portfolio, right? 8.5 by 10. And I thought, if this product I can create will help the handicap, it will help everyone. So if you would open up the photo reader, your portfolio, you would put the book on it, and the book would read to the blind. That was my market, reading to the blind, right? Then you could play games on it, right? So that helped the people who was disabled, who couldn't see or hearing, and then it also helped the person who like, hey, maybe I want to listen to some audio. I was before Audible, and I was before what? The iPad.
oh yeah,
Watch this here. There should be stadiums named after me, right? I should be Mr. Tampa Heights, not you, right? Because I believe more in what the doubter said. My family is struggling. Not struggling, but they should be in the Elon Musk, right? They should be with the Bill Gates name, right? That was in 1985. Now, I gave the presentation of my life, right? I believed it. I spent all my ramen noodles budget on this, right?
Right.
And the professor was like, yeah, ho hum. And the students were like, yeah, ho hum. And I started to believe what they thought. And it's not good enough. So the $250 design I created, I ripped it up. I cussed it and threw it in the to college. Fast forward, can you imagine what my life would have been if I kept doing my idea? That's how many of us are, Eddie. We give up when we have an amazing idea because we don't believe enough. We believe in more in your doubts than we believe in our dreams.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I have a similar story where I bought 30 houses walking distance to Ybor City, and I used to own Ybor City party houses. And my vision was to buy these houses, and besides having regular tenants, furnish them, and then rent them out daily.
Woo!
That was before Airbnb.
You were Mr. Airbnb.
I was way before Airbnb. And if I would have had that damn website, I would be talking to you right now, brother, either right now, because I didn't have the marketing. I couldn't figure out how to market them. And the only way I would rent the houses out was my friends would say, "Hey, Eddie, I want to have a party." I'm like, "Okay, $500," and they would do it. And I would get like $500 for the whole month. Shoot, here I'm getting $500 a night. And so it was much better to build it as a party house than it was to normally rent it.
So the brilliance again, you saw opportunity, you found great opportunities, and you supplied what the market was looking for. Right? Again, that's a visionary. Listen, quiet as kept. I went to a few of the parties, right? I was a regular at some of the places, right?
We had some good times.
Right. Not too much. But listen, that's about being a visionary. Going to places, being a trailblazer in this industry. Now, here's the thing. People who want to be invested in real estate, they don't have to be a trailblazer anymore. Yeah. They got people like you who are doing it.
You remember my bus I bought?
Yo, you had a party bus.
Yeah. You remember it was a nice bus.
Yeah.
It was not for tours. It wasn't all black and it wasn't all that. But the bottom line, it was a good tour. It was a good bus. I used to have the TV where I actually built a video of the circle development, and we did a tour, and I would drive people around and show the future of the trolley system, how it's going to go in a circle and what's going to happen, all the different developments, and the projects are going to go down and all that's going to be happening. And I gave that tour way ahead of time. And people now stop me and say, "Eddie, I remember doing that tour you did 20, 30 years ago, and I thought you were nuts. And everything you said exactly happened. I couldn't believe it. And I thought for darn sure you were crazy that was going to happen." You know what I mean? I just had good vision. I could see that it's happening, and I got good insight, with the Dick Greco mayor, and I used to go to a lot of meetings and see things, and I was really into I was in every project. Mayor Heights project, I was into every little project, learning and figuring out what the future land use and what's going to happen in the future, and I just wanted to kind of be on the cuff of it, and I realized what DOT was going to buy up more property and get in there beforehand, and so I remember buying some properties for like $30,000, and DOT came around and paid me $230,000. You know what I mean?
Listen, I remember going to your party house that you got because of DOT.
Yeah.
Right. So I learned I'm not the most brightest guy in the planet, right? But I saw you do it, and then I heard about some possible plans in Ybor City, and I saw drawings of what it was going to look right across the street from McDonald's and Burger King and the lake. And I bought 8 units.
Oh, yeah.
There,
that's
right?
right. I remember that, too.
Right. So I'm watching
Bringing my memory back out.
I'm watching you do deals, and I became a deal master based on what you was doing.
Yeah.
Find areas close to entertainment districts, close to where people are going to be highly desirable. Wait for the ugliness, wait for the mess, wait for the chaos to go away, but you want the cash flow right out the jump. And you did
that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. If you can go buy something for $0 down and $0 a month, and just hold it and babysit, and in time, you make money with appreciation. And how many you had? Like 8?
There was 8 over there. That whole block.
Yeah.
I went back to go try to buy that property back about 3 weeks ago. $2 million.
Yeah.
I think I owed like $200,000 on it.
Yeah.
It's worth $2 million plus. Yeah. And at the time, you could have built.
You had 8 people paying the $200,000. You know what I mean?
You know how much
tenants.
it would do right now?
Oh my God,
rentals?
cash flow.
Right now, it will probably do $300 a night per unit time 8.
Because a great location.
Locations wins. Yeah. Listen, those are notes that your students, it's like we're having a conversation, but you're giving amazing gems. Tell me about your classes. How do you teach and what inspires you to teach? How often do you do it?
No, I do it every Tuesday night at my office. I've got this 2-car garage, and I took my Porsche out, and I took all the trash out of here, and I just made it into a classroom and said, look, we're going to show people the office and show the people the courtyard and have people come in here and just see what we're about. And, it's free. It's always free. And
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Bro, The class I just went to and what we're doing right now is worth thousands of dollars. What do you mean free? Free what?
No, man, I can't charge because I know something. That's not me. You know, if I know something and I can help somebody, I'm going to tell them. I mean, that's my nature. And if I'm good enough, I'll make money because they're going to want to buy houses and borrow money and help them, help them and guide them, And so, I've had several customers, like you said, you didn't need many buyers. I mean, really and truly, I've sold thousands of houses and had lots of clients, but I'll tell you what, I had probably like 10 great ones. You know what I mean? Like you bought a bunch of properties from me. You have these clients and they'll end up buying, you get a good client, they'll buy 5, 10 houses from me or more. So I had one customer buy like 500 houses with me. So it's, you just got to get some good clients and you can do quite well. You don't need because that's the whole thing about being an investment person versus just a single regular one-time home buyer. You know what I mean? I don't want to because you're always building relationships. I'd rather build a relationship and be their realtor for forever and then help them build them, and don't just sell them one, but sell them a lot. Nobody's going to get really rich on one deal. Mm-hmm. You got to own like 10 or 15 or 20. You got to own quite a bit of properties that you can manage or take care of. You know what I mean? Like I had 100 units at one time when I was 27, and that was a lot to take care of. You know what I mean? And today I still have over about 100 now myself right now, but it's a bit more manageable because it's a motel now. It's got different, and they're bigger pieces and versus individual, so it's all about and having more staff to be able to manage it. Before I had to do everything myself, and now I have more money so I can pay other people to help me out.
So that's a perfect thing. We're talking about scaling up, right? Mm-hmm. So one of the classes I teach, we coined it the 40-door challenge. So we started this last year, and our goal is to get all of our students to get at least 40 doors in the 1 year period. So we're teaching them to think bigger. We're teaching them how to analyze, how to find people who already made massive amount of money in small and mid-sized apartment complexes, 20 units, 40 units, just right out the city. Or how do you begin to build? So changing the zoning and, buying a lot that has an ugly house in it and then being able to put 4, 8, 12 units, right? Yeah. That's what we're teaching people.
Yeah, people just have to get out there and go look. I mean, you never know what you're going to bump into, but go look at everything. Don't be closed-minded to one thing. Just open your mind to a lot of things and then bring things to the table because people don't know what they don't know. And that's why I help bring to the table. Hey, did you think about this aspect of it? I never think about that. What's highest and best use? What's this? What's that? You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many different ways of looking at properties and you just want to get out there and just find new markets. It's a game. Just go out there and find new markets, new games, and new ways of doing it. It's just, and you don't need to do a lot. Sometimes just one property can change your life. I mean, most people just have one home, and that one home is the only thing that's saving their ass right now, And the bottom line is, imagine you had 2 or 3 homes.
Wow.
It doesn't take much. And some of us are bigger. We've owned a lot of property, so it seems easier and manageable, but not everybody's going to be able to own 100 properties. I mean, because it's not just consistency, it's also discipline. You have to be very disciplined. It's a huge responsibility to manage and babysit all those people and all that you have to deal with.
I also think about many of us, we lose when we never get into the stadium, right? Never
you have to play.
Get into the game. Can you imagine you want to be an all-star player from not in the bleachers?
If I didn't get in real estate, I'd be at Home Depot right now.
Manager?
Probably a manager.
A front desk clerk?
Who knows? Cashier? Who knows? But the bottom line is, I liked Home Depot. I did. I loved it. And I really, enjoyed it. Just thank God I outgrew it. And I wanted more for myself. And I didn't know if this was going to happen. I didn't know. I believed I would. I believed in myself. And within 18 months of quitting Home Depot, now the first 6 months I didn't make a penny. But after that, I ended up I bought my building and I had like 100 people pay me rent. In a very short period of time.
So was it happenstance or was you deep? So you're skipping over the meat of it, right? You actually took action. You did your homework. You ran your numbers, right? Yeah. You put in a heavy lifting. My real estate license,
my broker's license. I was an appraiser already. I already, did one deal. I already had another deal I did. I mean, I watched hundreds of people do it. Studied it. I was, and I just knew that. I told my dad, I said, "Look, Dad, I got this. I just need $10,000. Like, well, good luck with that 10 grand." And I finally got the 10 grand up when I closed my first couple of deals, and I took that money and knew how to invest it correctly and leverage it and use creative financing and figured it out. I just figured it out and made things happen. I believed in myself, and I was hardworking, and I was determined. And I was
those are the attributes, right? So many people, I like the thing called chicken little flipper. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. I'll never do a deal. Bankers aren't lending. I'll never get finance, right? Today, what you asked earlier about this market, I think we're in one of the most amazing markets ever. That's just my personal opinion.
No. I mean, you're right. I mean, big investors, big guys with big money are coming here. You know what I mean? They see it. The numbers don't lie. I mean, you got a Publix coming. You got 370 apartments. You got name one block in this Tampa Heights area doesn't have a new construction project going on right now.
And what does the new construction sell for?
And they're all like 800 plus.
800
I mean,
plus.
it's nuts.
I saw the duplexes for 1.1 million each side of the duplex.
Yes, they're going for, yes. I mean, that was a low end. I mean, and some could be 2 million. I mean, and that's still at probably 50% of the value it's going to be in 10 years from now. Because this is all the great people from Carrollwood, people from New Tampa, people from Hyde Park, they all want to be one place. Tampa Heights. Who in the heck would ever think that?
We in the hit spot, baby.
Who would have said that somebody would leave Hyde Park to move to Tampa Heights? Who would leave Tampa Park? Well, you did a long time ago, but that was pioneers. We were the ones that raised their children here. Who in the world would raise their kids in Tampa Heights at the time? It was nuts.
Mama, we're explorers. Mama, we're Lewis and Clark.
I remember buying my house for $20,000, 2-story, 2,000 plus square foot, and then we added on. It was almost like 4,000 or 5,000 square feet when it was all said and done. And I bought the house for $20,000, and I told my dad I'm going to raise my kids here, and he thought I was nuts. He's like, "Are you nuts?" I'm like, Villa right there, one of the best private schools for the kids. It's close to everything. I can walk to my office. I'm going to change this neighborhood. I'm going to become a millionaire. It's like, you're going to become a millionaire? Watch. He couldn't believe it, and I worked my ass off and did it.
So were you really, and this is for all the listeners out there, were you doing it to prove it to yourself, or were you doing it to prove it to your...
Well, yeah, I mean, he's always the one that said, you ain't going to pass that. You ain't going to be able to do that. This is that. And you're like doing it wrong. This, that. He would always, he's a great dad.
He met well.
Dad. He's a great dad.
Right.
He's a great person and everything. But, and look, I wasn't the sharpest kid. You know what I mean? I was in SLD class. I wasn't the sharpest kid. And my dad's 6'2". I'm 5'9.5". I mean, I wish I was tall. I mean, I wish I was stronger and this is that. And I kind of doubted myself because I wasn't, I wasn't as, as maybe as talented as he was in some ways, what I mean? And I had to work harder, and I don't know. I kind of, went on my own, and I basically just believed in myself. And I think that's what really started happening. My mom gave me that talking about, believed in me. And like, if you want to do something, spend 1 hour a day towards it every day, and you'll get to where you want to get at, and believe in yourself. And I just kind of did. And I knew it was weird. I mean, I knew it was different. I just knew that there was something inside me that was just different than most people in my thing. And I had a strong belief that I was not going to be poor. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be poor, period. It wasn't in I was going to do anything possible not to be poor.
Mindset.
And I just would, and I had to do a lot of crazy things, but they were calculated. I knew this would happen. I knew I could get this much rent. I knew I could sell it for a profit. I knew. I mean, sometimes I took a chance. I bought a house for $20,000 on Francis, which is the $1 million road now, for $20,000, and I sold for $22,000.
You made money.
I still made money.
You made money.
But today I wish it's now it's over $1 million. I would just held the damn thing. But you had to just burn and turn and just make things happen and figure it out. But it was a great market. I mean, hands down, I thought it was the best market. I didn't think there would be a better market anywhere. But now I'm in Virginia, and some of the stuff I'm doing in Virginia, I think it's better than Tampa Heights ever was. I mean, I never thought I could own big buildings and motels and 60 acres and all the stuff I'm doing there. I would think this.
What is the secret tell me about what's the similarity between Tampa Heights and where you are?
I think they're both.
Now?
You know what? I'll tell you what's common. I was one of the first person to see these like Tampa Heights, and because I did, a lot of people thought of me as probably a fool, and they're like, "Hey, fool, come buy my property." I'm like, "Okay," you know what I mean, and like, "Hey, there's some fool buying up all these damn properties. You want to sell your property? Go call that fool."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, he'll buy it. You know what I mean? I go to Virginia, they go, there wasn't no money in Virginia until Eddie came. You know what I mean? Eddie's buying everything. And everybody's calling me. People will drive hours away to come meet me and say, "Hey, I got properties I'm going to sell you. You know what I mean? I heard you're buying. Look at this, look at this, look at this." It's unbelievable.
So you have more deals than a little bit.
Oh my God, it's a candy store in Virginia. It's a real estate candy damn store. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
So you have a formula. Your formula is not only applicable for the sun and the shining and the water for Tampa. You're taking this to different areas. I think that's an amazing thing.
Well, I had to. I mean, because, I'm only 55 years old. So, I plan on being in this business for 10, 15, 20 years. Who knows? But, I just knew that there's no way I can continue doing what I'm doing just in Tampa Heights.
Uh-huh.
It's too expensive for me. I'm not going to go and risk $2 million, $3 million to make hopefully a profit.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that was never my game plan. I've never done that. I never took high risk. Everything I do is cheap. I'm a very cheap guy in the sense that I just buy stuff for $20,000, $30,000. Look, I'm buying 60 acres for $125. I bought a restaurant with another building in the back for $135. I bought a motel for $300. I mean, everything. I bought a couple of buildings for $20,000, $50,000, $135. That's everything I'm buying is so darn cheap in my eyes for what I'm getting.
Uh-huh.
And that's the same thing with Tampa Heights. I never paid a lot of money for anything. Everything I did was very cheap, and now today it's all very expensive. Something else. Look at this, Ed. If I calculated what type of money, what type of business did I have? What would be my portfolio? Back then when I was playing, I played with a few $1 million, $2-3 million worth of assets, but all the properties were like $30,000, $50,000, whatever else. You take those same properties at today's prices. Do you know what my business number would be?
But you got to be a 10.
No, it would. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're talking about. I don't know. This way, it'd be over $100 million business that I was playing with. If you think about it, does that make any sense? What I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean, who would think that I could actually mess around with $100 million business? All these different buildings I own, all the properties I had. The money I was going through my fingers. It was nuts.
Again, I think you made it seem easy. I heard a basketball player the other day talk about, right? Kobe Bryant. He made it seem easy. But what you didn't see in the background was the tireless work, right? They call it the mama mentality, right? So it seemed like on the outside, Eddie, that it was easy. But you had a contractor's license, a GC license, you had a mortgage license, you had a real estate sales license, you had that pray. You did the work behind the scenes, right? And that's what people fail to do. They don't take action. They have what's called the analysis of paralysis because they don't put the work in, and they want the harvest without the hard work, right? So I that's why I'm thankful for you, and you're still teaching and inspiring. And I see, as you are, I'm a visionary. I see amazing still happening in Tampa. I see you teaching more. I see you teaching to oceans of people, right, to getting to real estate and master this real estate thing. Because, listen, it's a phenomenal game to be in.
Yeah. And look, I don't know everything, but, I try. I mean, I want to. I love seeking knowledge, and I love meeting people, and I just know I know the basics. I know the fundamentals, and I know it very well. And I know how to look at things from a whole bunch of different angles and perspectives. And I think I know how to teach it pretty well. I'm good at explaining it, that people can understand it, because I was kind of slow. And so sometimes, like, look, you're teaching me a new language, be a little slow with me, make this make sense to me. And that's what I kind of bring to the table, I believe. I got a new name for you. The Rosetta Stone of real estate, right? Teaching them a new language. Right, because it is. I mean, it's they're fish out of water. Nobody teaches this. They don't teach this in high school or colleges like they should. You know what I mean? And they don't teach a lot of stuff that should be taught, and I'm glad there's YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time about it. I love to see who's right and who's wrong, who's a little full of shit and who's not, or get some new ideas or new ways of saying it, because there's 1,000 different ways of saying something or how to say it better. What is this game? I mean, because bottom line, it's just buy low, sell high, and then how much time, and it's about choices, and it's about, there's a million components, and there's a lot of things to learn and know, from the law to contracts to negotiations to you name it. I mean, there's tons of stuff, and how to improve on it. But the bottom line is I kind of narrowed them all down to the 4 F's. How do you find it, fund it, fix it, and flip it? Those are the 4 basics. I believe if you can master those 4, you pretty much got real estate. And I think everybody needs a coach. Everybody needs a mentor. You know what I mean? It just helps. I mean, doing things by yourself, and then I just want to be like a godfather. Like, let me just bless the deal for free. If it's free and let me just give my 2 cents of what I think, what could happen, what it's a good deal, what's the positive, what's the negatives. Just analyze the deal for you, because people need to really know how to analyze deals before they go pull that trigger.
Listen, you're right about that. You need a mentor because you can go real fast backwards. Can you imagine that? You can go real fast backwards without the right guidance, without the right direction, without the right GPS, right? I call it, sometimes we have this artificial intelligence, AI. We think it's just going to happen like that. But I'm glad that I found people like you, the Serralles Group, Tampa Heights Mortgage, and the entirety of your crew.
I'm glad you saw the vision or believed in it, believed in Tampa Heights. And look, I'm sure it was, a little scary. And I'm sure your friends or family or people will say, well, you nuts, about this, this is that. And it takes time. But years later, like, nope. We weren't nuts. Look what happened.
This is it. Solid.
Look at it, and it was I knew it was coming. It's just, it just takes time, just like in Virginia. It's a little slow there right now. That's why there's good deals. But trust me, they don't make no more land, and people got to go where they can afford, and that's very affordable right now. And so people are going to start looking that way. It's already happening. You got North Carolina blowing up like crazy. People are starting to go that way. It's called the halfway back. It's already happening. But you'll see it stronger in 15, 20 years from now. You know what I mean? And then you won't be able to touch it. And I'm already buying properties that you can't even, and there's no termites up there either. Those buildings are like day one, like in Florida. Like we have sink with sand and we have termites. So your buildings are rock, not level. All my floors over there, those big buildings are perfectly level. You know what I mean? They're going to last another 200 years.
Wow.
It's unbelievable.
So listen, I absolutely love, I love your system. You're not packaging it as a system, but everything you do is right on point, from the type of property, how long it is, the cash flow of the property. Listen, man, if y'all want to do this real estate thing, go find someone else. If you want to master it, if you want to stop competing and dominate, there's one person for you. My guy, Eddie Serralles, man.
Just trying to do the best I can. That's it. That's all I try to do. Anything else you want to leave us with that you can think of? I mean, I know you got those books. I know you've been doing some classes. I know that you do a lot of funding, and I'm glad you're around Tampa Heights and Tampa,
Doing deals. I got a deal right up the street in Seminole Heights, man. Seminole Heights. Again, knowing your numbers, kind of figuring out what works and where people are coming from, and doing your ARV, your afterpay value versus your costs and your rehab. Many of those things I learned from you. Now I'm taking it and packaging it and kind of scaling it out there. But yeah, so again, you got to be a person who wants it, right? So, and it would be easy. Everyone would do it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone would do it, right? But in fact, with the right person, with the right system, with the right director, it is actually easy.
No, I made it easy for a lot of people. You know what I mean? I did a lot of stuff to make it easy for people. I had to because nobody would see it, and everybody thought I was nuts. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, you want to buy a house in that neighborhood? Are you crazy? You have to pay me to buy it. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll pay you. You know what I mean? You'll walk over when you buy it. I mean, you basically had to bribe people to move in this neighborhood, to buy this thing. And you don't even live here. Just, you're going to pick up rents. I'm like, dude, you can buy this property, walk away with 10, 20 grand, and you'll collect $500 or $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? Just babysit it.
Man.
You know, they just couldn't see it. And they're like, you got to be kidding me. And then the appreciation happened. I was like, well, holy cow, look at this money I just made.
Listen, you need a new book. Let's call it something crazy like Real Estate for Dummies, right? And Tampa Heights. Right? No, it's too late for that. But no, that's how it was. That's how it was. And I'm glad you won that sees the future. I'm glad you won who's willing to take risks on people, take chances on people, open your doors.
I just try to be nice about doing the business, you know, and people's like, you should be charging. Nah, I don't believe in that. I'm sorry, I think the way I think. You know what I mean? I just believe in how I believe, and I just want to help people, and I know it's real, you know, and it's the best thing I ever made, decided to be real estate, and it's not just here, it's everywhere. But Tampa Heights is booming. It's going to keep booming. But it's in a, you know, now you got big guys coming in. I mean, and there's big projects, a lot of money.
Bro,
A lot of money here.
Because you came here, you made it comfortable for Bill Gates and the Vinix and the Jeff Shores, right?
Yeah.
Now billionaires are doubling down or tripling down because of what you did. So I'm excited to connect. I can't wait to see what's in store, the markets you have. And I just got to say, guys, you can make excuses, or you can accumulate excuses, or you can accumulate assets. If you're willing for assets, then you got to reach out to my guy, Eddie Serralles. Amazing system. Phenomenal educator. Listen, if you're not talking to him, he's going to talk to my house. So don't drive it crazy. Come out here. Do a deal. It's time to win.
All right. Well, thank you guys.